Okay. Hi, everybody. This is the fun part where I get to talk to myself and wait for people to join. So, I am waiting for um, the filmmaker, Praveen Whitefield, and my co actor, Akhill Menon, to join. And then we will get started. Hi, Ritika. Thank you. Hi, Praveen.
Hi.
Okay, hold on. I'm just checking if Akhil is here.
Hmm.
Okay, so while we wait, I just want to let everyone know, I don't know if you'll have been seeing my posts, but we shot a movie in January last year. It's been a year now, called Essentials. I won't say much. I'll let Praveen do the introduction later once we start. So I'm just
Yeah.
checking, waiting for my co-actor Akhil to join. Okay, there he is. You are so prompt and on time. God bless. Um, Okay, she should be joining in just a second, hopefully. Accept. Okay, I'm having a little bit of trouble getting Akhil on. Okay, I'm going to give it like a few more minutes, and if I can't add Akhil, then we'll just close this and then start again. Okay, I'm getting an error that Akhil can't join. One more time. Doo-doo-doo. Come on, Akhil. Yes. There we
Yeah.
go. Hi.
Hello.
Oh
What's
man,
up?
your beard is like killing it. What's happening?
I guess time. Just
Huh?
going. It's just going with time. That's it.
Love it. Okay, so we'll begin. Let me just give everybody an introduction again. I'm Urvashi. We have with us filmmaker Praveen, who was the writer, director, editor, producer, all in one person behind Essentials, the film, which is not yet released and will hopefully be releasing soon. Akhil was my co-actor and the protagonist of the film. And yeah, here we are. Hi, friends. 1 year
Hi.
since we shot the film. Can you believe it? It's
It's
been a whole
almost.
year.
Yeah. It's almost exactly 1 year. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I have lots of questions and we may not have that much time. So I'm just looking at the clock here. Let's
hmm
get started. First of all, Praveen, tell us what is the premise of the film? How much are we allowed to say?
yeah. So it's a. It's a. I mean, if you look at it, it's a pretty simple film in that sense. But then, it's basically the story starts with Raghu, who's a 30-year-old virgin. And he wants to explore his sexuality with Monica. And on the, I mean, he gets a stroke of realization that he needs to do something about it, and that's where he gets there. He happens to meet Monica, so and terribly, that fateful night, our prime minister announces the unprecedented lockdown. That's the first lockdown, and rest, what happens to them, both of them, is life changing. So that's the crux of the story. And then I mean, after what happens when he reaches the door, I mean, many people must have, I don't know, you must have seen the trailer. What happens after the door is something which is very interesting as the story part. So that's the story. Yeah.
So I feel like this is going to be one of those films that are going to be part of a milieu of basically lockdown inspired, pandemic
Yeah.
inspired art that's going to come out of, where we were and where we have ended up. So
Yeah.
how do you feel like this film is going to be different and going to stand out compared to all the other pandemic films?
Yeah, I'm sure because the first lockdown, people were not used to it. It was unprecedented. Nobody knew what is a lockdown and things like that. But then it changed a lot of people's lives. Uh, I mean, in terms of their jobs, in terms of their careers, or it could be many things. There are many stories that we keep listening, or it could be. I mean, people have even become uh, billionaires or millionaires as well, mainly the pharmacy people. Yeah. So you right. Raghu was no different. Even Monica was no different. So uh, in that sense, it is still a common thing because it affected the entire world, right? So the commonality is there. But what they choose to decide in life, that's the that's a very what do you call a very unique thing that they choose for themselves, which is not a common thing that everybody does. So that is where it is going to be different.
Are we allowed to reveal anything more about what Monica does and in what context Monica and Raghu meet, or do we have to stay silent about that?
Um I mean, I think most of the people who must have seen the trailer must have almost somewhere really gotten an idea what this film entails. But yeah, I would still prefer to keep it a little, hush hush, so that people
Okay.
watch it and then uh, you know get the better experience of it and than me revealing, and so let them discover themselves is what I would say. But what I could say is that it's a very sex positive film. So that is what
That I
that
think
is all I
people
can
can
say.
see from the trailer also.
Yeah.
So, Akhil, for you, I mean, we've already, I guess, revealed through the trailer that there is a lot of, there are a lot of intimate scenes. We're shooting primarily in a hotel room, like lots of things are happening indoors. How was it for you when you read the script and you saw all the things that your character needed to do, and the fact that we would be shooting in like such a tight space for so many days? What was your reaction?
Well, first of all, I'm not a reader. Like I read a lot, but then this script was the first thing which I could finish off in one single sitting. So that itself, to like, it was some part of myself telling me that I have to do this. And as an actor, I could had a lot of opportunity to explore with the emotions and everything. So I wanted to do this, but then again, when it comes to the intimacy part, I didn't know how I would be doing. Like more than what I would be doing, I wanted to make sure that my co-actor, that is you would be comfortable with it. So I was a little nervous about it, but then I think over time we all got really comfortable. We became a family over time, and we had a great time together. Like I didn't really feel like I
Yeah.
was working.
Yeah, I'm seeing a few comments, Akhil, that people can't hear you. So if you could speak a little louder or connect to earphones, that'll be good. But yeah, since I am also an actor in this film, I'm going to shamelessly answer everything that I'm asking Akhil also. Oh, looks like Akhil is reconnecting or has disconnected. Hopefully he'll be back in a second. But yeah, for me, I think as Akhil said, the script was very compelling, and I also read it, completely in one shot. And I feel like it's more challenging to make a compelling film when you're limiting your location to just one room. It's very easy to have a visually compelling film that has multiple locations and background dancers and like a massive art department and things like that. So I was very intrigued to see how a film that is set in one room would be made. So that was, I think, where I was coming from with this. With the intimacy, I think I had learned a little bit in a previous film that it has to sort of be choreographed. The same way you choreograph a dance sequence or an action sequence, you have to choreograph an intimacy scene also. Sorry, an intimate scene also. And so it was like a huge learning opportunity for me. Praveen, while we wait for Akhil to reconnect, how did this idea begin for you? Was it just, you were sitting in lockdown and you had to get some thoughts out on paper? Was it brewing from long before and then you were able to set it in a lockdown context? How did it come to be?
Yeah. So I mean, I've started making films from, let's say, 2018, and I started with short films. So all these things, what you see in the film is all a, sort of all my short films or whatever work that I did in terms of films, that became like a base to, sort of graduate into a feature film. So I wouldn't say the entire part of it, but most of the parts that I have put in this film is also based on what I have done before. And with the essentials, the script, I started writing it. I mean, it's basically during the lockdown, the first lockdown, like I was saying, during March, April, I think, April after the lockdown, and it was continued till May, I think, right? If I remember it right. I mean, they started sort of easing out the restrictions a little, but then most of it, we were like stuck for at least more than a month, really, at home, I think. So at this time is what I was also uh, speaking to a lot of my friends who are also screenwriters or writers, and then we made a group on WhatsApp, and we started calling each other on Mondays, and we called it Monday Talkies or something like that. So we wanted to sort of make a web series on YouTube, saying, why don't we start doing something like, each one, there were 6 of us, if I remember it. So there were, so we'll say, okay, each one, let's do an episode and do it and stuff like that. But that idea never took off. So when I came up with that story, it was actually for that. I mean, it was just a idea outlined in that sense. So, I mean, the essentials story outline. But then the group discussion that was happening, that really didn't take off. So I took it on myself that, okay, I am going to make this into a feature film. So I don't know. I mean, I just got a stroke of, I don't know, a thunderstrike or something that, okay, no, because I always wanted to make one and see it. So you can call it like it started off as an experiment. And as it grew, it was getting more serious, and it really became a very professionally made film. So
So
that
it's like
is
how
where it started.
in all those boy bands, there's one star that breaks away from the group and does his own thing and becomes his own name. That's what you did. Started off with a boy band, then you were like, actually, ditch these guys. I have better ideas. I have a better plan. I'm going.
Yeah, but then it was
Kind
really
of.
not I mean, it was not really a famous boy band. We just started like 1 or 2
Don't
chords.
kill
Yeah,
the joke with
I
logic, Praveen.
I
Please.
understood. I understood that.
Okay, one more question for Akhil before we come back to the pinned comment here, which is a good question. So, Akhil, from what I know, obviously from behind the scenes, Raghu was a very different character from who you are as a person. So, what was it like trying to reconcile this idea of this person who seemed so alien to you?
Well, actually, I had to forget who I was in person. It was really difficult in the beginning. I'm sure you all are aware about it. But then, yeah, I had to go through the script again and again, especially the beginning part to understand the beats, the background. Raghu is someone who's really different. First of all, I wasn't really playing my age. I was a little elder, according to the character's an elder person. Raghu's 30 and I wasn't 30. I'm still 28. I was 27 when I was playing the role. And it took me a lot of time. Like, I'm completely different, especially coming from the upbringing stage. It's a totally different person. So I had to go through the script again and again. And I had to understand, like, Praveen has really helped me understand the base. And also our associate director, Vishnu has really helped me a lot to understand the base. And then I think that's what helped me the most.
Do you feel like you maybe, I mean, I have a hard time with this sometimes when I'm playing characters that I don't agree with. But do you feel like maybe you judged Raghu at all? Because I had to like really think about Monica and like find a way to look at her viewpoint and her life experiences non-judgmentally. Did you have the same issue?
It took me a little time to understand. Like at certain points, I couldn't agree with it, but then when I gave it time to think about it, I think it worked out finally.
Yeah. I think people
It
underestimate that there is a lot of convincing ourselves in order to
exactly,
get into
exactly.
a character, you know. I feel like when you're watching somebody and just the way that they're acting and moving and how they use things, whether it's, you know, playing, fidgeting with a pen or, you know, working on a laptop, we just think, yeah, that's how the person does it. But no, we change so much about
I know,
ourselves
I know.
when it comes even to the small things of how much to fidget, how much to sit still, how much to move, how much to walk. So yeah, I think people need to know more about how much work goes into it. Now, this question coming for from Ron of Kochi for Praveen. Since it's shot in
Hmm.
a very limited space, I'm presuming a lot rode on the tone of the shots and the script. What went into that process to see it through, I think is
Okay.
what he tried to say.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
And I
I
know that the
mean,
visual, sorry, just adding
yeah, go ahead.
one this thing from my side also. I know that the visuals and the treatment and the aesthetic of the film is something that you were really very keen on because there were going to be scenes that could come across in a way that you didn't want them to. So I know you've put a lot of thought into it and you've spent a lot of
Hmm.
time on the visuals. So yes, take it away.
Yeah, sure. So I'm as a I mean, I do work for a company as a designer, so that has taught me, or probably it's my natural streak, I would say, that I'm I plan things a lot on paper first. So
Hmm.
80% of all the things that are there is all on paper first, and then I mean anything that gets changed spontaneously, maybe 20 to 25%. That is what I believe in, and I can perform better only in those kind of situations. So most of the shots before we even started to go for the actual shoot were all decided between the DOP and me, going through the entire script. At least we did it for, I don't know, maybe 15 days. We went through each and every page of the script and made the short divisions. So before that, I mean, before even making the short divisions, we went, to the location. We decided which location to choose, and I booked that place. And we took photographs first, and we took videos first, so we knew what angles and uh, things like that we can take forward. And I made storyboard based on that particular location. So that is how we actually started. And then based on the location pictures, I made storyboards. And then again, these calls between DOP and me were all online. It was not really offline. So we did screen sharing. We did most of it was all virtual. I mean, yeah, we didn't meet in person for all these discussions. We did it almost every day for 3 4 hours on this. So that's how the process was. That this particular dialogue will be mid shot. This particular dialogue will be a close up shot. We had decided that very clearly, and based on that is what we came up with a schedule, right? Which day, what scenes we will do, and again, whether it is a day or night, what lenses are we using, and the makeup, the coordination with the makeup guy. When is he coming? When is he not coming? When do they need makeup? So all those things put together, we made a schedule. So yeah. So to answer short, the short divisions were made, and the angles were also decided very much previously.
I have to say you were super organized. Like I have been on a lot of film sets where they don't know what they're doing. And yeah, seriously, applause.
I
I
agree, I
agree with
agree.
Akhil. Yeah, it was like, you know, I felt like as actors, we never had to do anything more than what was decided. You know, because everything was so nicely planned, we just had to give our performance. And if there needed to be any change in the performance or if there was any technical issue, we did it again. But I really appreciated the fact that everything was to the point. Like you knew from which line it'll start to which line it'll end, because there's a lot of long conversations, and I really appreciate that you never made us do anything more than exactly what was required. And I think that all came down to your planning also. Akhil, I'm sure you have also been on sets where everything's a disaster and they're making it up as they go.
I'm pretty sure, like, having worked for such a long time in the industry, Urvashi, even you might have come across certain situations where you would have been told something right before the shot, and like just before the shot, you're been, okay, this is something you've been preparing for something else, and then you're suddenly asked to prepare for something new. But in this movie, like, not even a single incident like that happened.
Yeah, seriously, hats
I
off,
mean,
Praveen.
no, I
You are.
mean, yeah, I agree. I mean, I am more comfortable with that, but it's also, I mean, plans are plans when they are executed according to the plan. If that doesn't work, if the team doesn't work according to the plan, uh, then no plans are better. So it's also the team, right? So
Full love all around. All of us are just congratulating each other.
it's a
Um,
mutual admiration society. Yeah.
Basically. No, so you were talking about putting things on paper, right? But like even going in, did you have an idea of like the colors that you ended up using, or had you created a mood board along with the storyboard that really got into like, because some of the sequences are very dreamlike, they're very dreamy. They've got a certain
Mm,
quality to them that
mm,
seems almost, ethereal, like it's
yeah.
happening, somewhere between morning and night kind of feeling is there. So is that stuff that you planned earlier? Did you just work on that with your colorist? Did that happen during editing?
Yeah, so I mean, right from the word go, I was very much inspired by, I don't know if people have watched Netflix. There is a series called The Girlfriend Experience.
Mm,
So the Girlfriend Experience and 50 Shades of Grey, all these color grading was my sort of, uh, I don't know, it sort of matched my sensibilities in how I wanted to visualize it, because I was visualizing it almost that way. So that is the brief that I sort of, as a benchmark, I gave the DOP and also the colorist. So I mean, it's basically at the source you have to maintain that you have to get this in the output as a raw file. Then you go into the coloring, right? So that's where the inspiration was. So that way, yes. So that is where it came from. I mean, it's not like 100% we were able to do that, but at least to some extent, yes, we could get there. That's what I'm saying.
Akhil, did you know that the final product was going to look like this? Did you have any idea?
The way how organized he was, I think yes. I think I knew
Yeah.
it would be this good. Yeah.
No, no, I mean visually, like the way that the colors were done and the way that it was sort of like.
Initially, I wasn't. But then yeah, like over time, like once I was like halfway done with the shoot, I think yes, I could see that coming.
Oh, okay. I see. I have no technical experience and I have no background in like the technicalities of film, so I did not see it coming at all. Only until I saw the final product. But speaking of getting to that final product, Praveen, you've seen this from writing, then pre-production, then production, direction, and then you also had to edit it. Now, I hear that when it's a writer director, there's conflict enough. When it's director editor, there's conflict enough. Now, writer director producer editor,
And
did you
also
have
art
to some
director,
like, yeah,
art director. Remember
everything,
the
all the things,
paintings, the huge paintings we had to
everything?
walk.
Yeah. How difficult or easy was it for you to cut?
Um, I think I know it all boils down to the budget, right? If I had the budget, I would have delegated it to people, but I didn't have the
Uh,
budget, so I did it all myself. So, and I don't need to pay myself, or I don't pay myself. So, uh, so that is the that's the story. But yeah, but to me, uh, maybe you can call me a control freak. Um, the way I write it is easy for me to plan it that way and also edit it that way, because I am in control. If I lose control, then I go bonkers. So with me, it works that way. So it is good for me. So that is what I can
So
say.
it was actually better for you to do all of it
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
interesting. I feel like I would be the
right,
same way, honestly.
right,
I
yeah.
understand that. Now we are at a phase where it has gone through the festival circuit. It has
Mm.
won numerous awards. Akhil has won numerous awards. So I think both of you were working quite closely, getting everything submitted to all the festivals, right? What was that experience like? I feel like people don't realize that you have to apply to festivals, you have to pay for applications, you have to get yourself in there. You know, it's not just about getting the wreaths, it's about how to get those wreaths. So what was the plan? How did it go? I mean, I know, of course, but for the audience.
No, actually, I had no clue about it. So like, he had told me that he'll be applying for the festivals, and once we started getting the results, I had started telling my family about it. Like, wow, we have won like festival number one, boom, we've got it. Second one, okay, again. So when these kept on coming, my parents started asking me, so what about you? Like, haven't you been getting it? And then that's when I started thinking about it. And I thought, okay, maybe I can apply for the best debutant actor or something like that. But then I couldn't find any such categories. And then I just randomly picked a few festivals and then started sending it. And
Mm.
then later my brother and sister-in-law, they started telling me, apply for more, apply for more. And then okay, then I started applying for more. And then I think a few festivals really surprised me, like Berlin. Berlin was something which I really wasn't expecting. So, and then Urvati was also a big festival. Like I wasn't expecting to get there. I was just expecting to maybe like get nominated. That was the best I was expecting. But then, yeah, six was a good number, and I'm very thankful. But
Nice.
then again, it's not just my effort. Like there were things which made it smooth. Him, you, and then Vishwas, the DOP. So it was the teamwork which really helped me out to get everything.
So sweet. You can just say thanks. I did it. I won. Suck
No,
it,
no, never
all
mind.
of you. Too much humble, too humility. Praveen, how about you? Were you gunning for those awards? Were you surprised when they came? Were you grateful? I mean, of course you're grateful, but how did you feel getting those awards?
Yeah, it was obviously any sort of recognition is always gratifying. Um, so yeah, I mean, many of them. I mean, the percentage. I mean, when I look at, because that's the. I mean, I apply through Film Freeway, so you look at projects and you look at the project's dashboard and how much you have applied and how much you've got selected and how much you have. All those things they sort of show it in a analytics form. So we have a good rate of like 75% of selection. That is what it is. I mean, according to what I have applied.
Go
So
team,
it's a,
group high five.
yeah, group of five. Good.
Praveen is just not amused by my bullshit. I'm like, group high fives. And Praveen's like, yeah, fine, group high five. He is more upbeat in person, everybody. I don't know why he's being shy today, but yeah, anyway, continue.
Maybe I'm doing this for the first time being live
Yeah.
on Instagram. So I'm really not live, right? So that's why.
Ah, okay. Hmm.
So yeah, yeah, festivals is a good place to sort of analyze your market for the film. I mean,
Hmm.
this is a more practical learning that I have had. Where does your movie stand in terms of the market, right? So that is where it sort of gives you an idea. So that I learned. Um, so that's what I mean. The other thing also, what I understood is that there are these very big festivals like Rotterdam and Berlin, Berlin International Film Festival. These are all very reputed stuff. They look at a very different kind of content from India, and that I think that is what I sort of learned. So but then, so yeah, I mean, every filmmaker makes it for a certain kind of audience and certain kind of market. So that kind of segregation, you tend to learn, okay, this is my actual distribution market. So
Yeah.
that is a good thing to learn from there.
Yeah. Coming to distribution, actually, I have a couple of questions. But before that, I just want to tell the audience, if you all have any questions, please post them because we're going to do a Q&A after this. If you put them in the comments, there is a chance that I will lose them. So on the bottom right of your screen, there should be like a little speech bubble with a question mark in it. So if you put your questions in there, then I can like look through them and like mark them as answered as we go along and like also show the question to everybody else. So please put your questions in the question section on the bottom right corner. Coming to distribution,
Hmm.
now every single response and comment I've gotten to the trailer is, where is it? When is it coming out? Where is the link? How do I access it? Now, again, I feel like most people don't know that there is a long process between thinking of a film, writing the film, making the film, editing the film, etc., and actually getting it out into the world. So this
Yeah,
distribution game is a business unto itself.
yeah,
And what are the plans for Essentials? I know Akhil has been doing a lot of this work, trying to get us in front of the right people. I know we were at the Film Bazaar. We were selected to be, showcased there for a bunch of producers and like important people. So how
yeah.
how is it going? What's the plan? Where are we hopefully gonna be?
Yeah, so even to release the trailer, we went through a lot of channels on YouTube, because I mean, even though we think that we can post it on our own channels and all that, you kind of require that kind of a sort of subscription and subscription base for any channel that you know that can give us that kind of reach,
Reach.
right?
Yeah.
So, and finally we decided to go with Sign Other. We also spoke with many other channels as well, but finally this is what we kind of came to. So yeah, I mean, to distribute the film, I mean, we have a couple of options already in our hand, but then we are still exploring what is the best which we could go for. So there are already two OTT platforms which are ready to sort of showcase this. Yeah. So let's see. I mean, let's get the best. I mean, as a film, not really as a profit maker, but as a filmmaker, or at least to reach the maximum audience, is what my goal is. So that's where I'm trying to get it on the most popular or the second most popular OTT platform. That is what I'm trying for.
Okay, and Akhil, how have you been working on this? Tell us. I know you've been doing a lot of work.
No, I've just been talking to a few people. Like I've been a part of the Malayalam film industry since last 4 years, and over the time, I've met a lot of people. So I'm just talking to them, people whom I've worked with, people whom I know. Like, hey, you know what? We have made a film like on our own, like during the lockdown. So first of all, everybody was surprised to know that we could make a film over such a short period of time within limited resources, like limited people. Like I think most of them can't even accept the fact that we have completed a full feature film with a limited
Yeah.
crew.
And how many crew members were there? By the way, it was literally Praveen, director, two of us, actors. So that's three. The DOP, so Vishwas, and DOP's assistant slash AD slash all in one everything. One sound person and one light person, right? There were seven people.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
and
then Vishnu,
Vishnu was there. So eight
Vishnu,
people
eight.
actually.
Eight
Yeah,
people.
8 people.
Eight people. Usually there are eight people who are assistants of the light boys.
Exactly.
yeah.
And we were eight people, including the cast and crew. Yeah, crazy. Anyway, yes, sorry, Akhil, continue.
Yeah. So I just so everybody was really curious to know what, like, how they've made the movie, how things were. So we took a lot of effort to show them. We had a screening also for a few of them, and then they were really impressed with the work, and that's how we've started like taking this to another level, like to different platforms, and how they see it is completely different. But like
Yeah.
it's still in process. But they're really surprised that we have finished a movie within like 15 days, right? That's what we took, right? 15
Yeah.
days. 15 days,
Yeah, and
7 team
the
members.
shoot was, yeah, 15. I mean, including the other scenes that was there outside the hotel, which is the sequence of the dream sequence and
Oh yeah,
stuff
the
like
dream
that.
sequence.
That was, so that was another day, but that was just another day. So you can say maybe 17 days or something. Yeah.
Yeah. But can I just say that, like, I know we were in a bio bubble and, it was this really stressful time and everyone was like, getting tested and trying to make sure nobody falls sick and this and that. But we had a blast. I think
Yes.
people need to know this. It was like summer camp for adults because we used to start shooting, we wake up, have breakfast, start shooting, shoot all day. But once we called back up, it was like, let's pick up beer, let's order dinner, put on the music. Every other day we were having such a great time. And I think that work-life balance really, really helped because otherwise the fatigue would have really caught up, when you're just, working, working, working. Because usually even with regular schedules, right, you work maybe like 5, 6 days and you take one day off, but we didn't have that luxury. We just kept going for like 2 weeks straight, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it can really add up like 8, 10 hours a
Yeah.
day for 14, 15, 16 days can be a lot. But
Yeah.
again, seriously, I think we killed it. So self-appreciation club. High fives again. Okay, we've got a bunch of questions, so let's take that. Okay. Ah, no, I lost it. Uh, oh, I think some of your friends are here, Praveen. He's a good singer. Please tell him to sing a song. But that's not relevant to this conversation. We'll have a separate Instagram live talent show later. Next. Praveen, where did you get the strength to present an idea as strong as Essentials? So Essentials, again, without giving any spoilers, talks about, concepts and ideas that sit on the margins of society that, in terms of mindset, very few people believe in, very few people can execute, very few people even even make the time to think about. So I feel like, yeah, I completely agree with this question. It's a lot of very um
Yeah.
you know, hatke type of thinking. So how did this happen?
So, yeah, I mean, if you look at it, the free choice based architecture that we have in our society at large or communities at large is absent, I would say. So, I mean, you have that constant rebellion against that. You don't have a free choice to sort of do. I mean, anything that you do, you always have to, work within a box or within a framework. So, I mean, it could be anything. I'm not saying this particular thing or that. And I mean, it could be social engineering, it could be politics, it could be anything that is sort of, making this boundary or framework. And the smallest part of it, or the smallest unit of any society or the entire world is a family. And family starts from where? I mean, traditionally, from two people. I mean, traditionally, if you look at it, it's a man and a woman. So that is where I wanted to arrive at that kind of a thing, that this is the smallest unit in the human world. So this is a man and a woman. Can they live freely without any bias, without any, political pressure, without any social pressure? So that was my sort of thinking, and that thinking is there since my first short film. It's that thinking is still there, and I think that will keep going on because we are getting nowhere in terms of actual, uh, you know, uh, systemic work that is happening on that. But slowly things are changing. So that is where this comes from. The whole essence of the film is to sort of mirror or sort of question the free choice based architecture that we have in our society at large and the contradictions that we face, right? And because everything is looked through some kind of a glass, like a cultural glass, like a political glass or something, right? So that is where this is coming from. question. You are on mute or something, Urvashi?
I am on mute. Oh, I did the Zoom
Okay.
thing. Okay.
Okay.
No, I said Akhil was nodding along with you. So, Akhil, when you first read the script, did you feel like you resonated with the ideas right off the bat, or did you have to sort of have a few conversations in order to get on the same page about what the film was trying to say?
So before reading the script, I was asked, like, as an actor, when I was approached by Praveen, he had asked me, like, there are some intimate scenes, partial nudity, like, are you okay with it? So, like, it took me a second to think about it, like, okay, should I do this? And you know how it was, like, after the first wave and all, Corona, I was really struggling to get some work as an actor. So, but then I really wanted to see like what it was. But then as I started reading the script, like I could see a great piece of art, and the way how polished, how finished the script was, like made me really think like, okay, I want to do this like at any cost. And I didn't really think like, I was going with the flow. Like I didn't think from a different perspective. I could really understand the script, like what it was trying to say. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think for me, I resonated with it quite easily because I'm the type
Just
of person.
hold on. For the audience here, I just want to say, while I started writing the script, um, um, I mean, the first initial draft that I wrote was a different character than, I mean, the Monica character was a very different character. And I met Urvashi in a workshop, in a screenwriting workshop, and my character changed.
I'm
Right?
amused.
So the first time I contacted her saying that, okay, hey, are you interested in this script? She rejected it. Okay. And
No need to air our dirty laundry, Praveen.
she rejected it saying some, what is that? Manic pixel
Manic
dream
Pixie
girl or
Dream Girl.
manic pixel dream girl syndrome or something. I was like, what is this? Then I had to Google it up and see and then understand. Okay. And then I gave her the full script that's saying that this is not Manic Pixel Dream Girl. This is something else.
Manic Pixie Dream Girl.
Yeah, whatever that is. Yeah.
Manic Pixie
MP,
Dream Girl.
MPDX or something, whatever.
MPDG. MPDG.
MPD. Yeah. So, so then that was then I gave her the full script. Then she understood that, okay, this is not MPDG. This is something else. And then I got her involved in the script writing also. So she actually co-wrote with me in terms of Monica's dialogues and stuff like that. So whatever Akhil was saying that it was very refined is also the credit goes to Urvashi as well.
Yeah.
So
So
No, I was just gonna say you said that you met me and then Monica changed. And I was gonna say then I met the script and the dialogues changed.
yeah,
so
And
dialogues
also
Praveen
to
is
give
not the
people
only
context.
multitasker here. It's also you, right?
No, to give people context, the Manic Pixie Dream Girl is basically a film trope where if there is a male protagonist and he needs to have a realization, a female character who has no other goals and aims for herself comes in and transforms the male protagonist's life and then sort of
Yeah.
wanders off and disappears. So that was the first
Yeah.
impression I got from the synopsis. But then when I read the entire script, I realized that they both influence each other, which then is a
Yeah.
different concept altogether. So it's not Manic Pixie Dream Girl. But
Yeah.
yes, thanks for it. Okay, we've got lots more questions. Akhil and Urvashi had a comfort zone which was effortless. Did you guys rehearse or spend time? Akhil, give your point
Okay,
of view, then
so
I'll give my point of view.
yeah, so we all are different, situated at different places. Like I'm from Kochi and they are from Bangalore. And even if they're in Bangalore, they're like in two other parts of Bangalore. Like DOP is there, director is here, heroine is there. So it's like Bangalore was a new city to me. I've never been to Bangalore before the shoot. So, but rehearsal was very important. And even though we had our script copies, we had to rehearse it and we had a daily session. I think at least an hour we used to spend every day for the script, rehearsing it, and like every day reading the script, rehearsing it. Like, oh, Praveen used to tell us like, oh no, this thing, if you can do it the other way, like it will be better. So, but then we almost had it for more than a month, right? The
Mm.
rehearsals. Yeah.
Yeah.
So by the time we actually met, like we didn't feel like strangers, even though the physical presence was there. Like we didn't really feel like it was we were meeting a new person. Like it was we were already friends by then, and the only difference was we started sharing a beer. So it was really great. So I didn't really feel that thing. So like we were already friends by the time we were done with our online training. I mean, online rehearsal sessions.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think the rehearsals really helped. But yeah, I think also what happened, as I said before, because we were all sort of living in that bio bubble together. It's not just the time that we're shooting. Like we had hours afterwards every day. And the intimate scenes were kept for a later time when we had developed a kind of sense of comfort with each other. And it kind of got to the point where we had become so pally that we had scenes where we had to be like sort of distant from each other and awkward around each other, and that became difficult where we had to be like, okay, we need to like turn off the friendship and like just be the characters for now. So yeah, and I think even with the intimacy stuff, we talked about it a lot. We laid out a lot of ground rules. Shout out to my lawyer who helped us draft like an entire appendix only around the intimacy part, where we decided on how much skin exposure, we decided on how much will be showed, how much will be portrayed, how many scenes will have intimacy. All of those things were like very neatly ironed out. So I think from before we had a very clear idea. And as I said in the beginning also, Praveen never made us do anything more than what we had already planned. So I think
I
in
think
that
he
sense,
was the
everything.
uncomfortable person there.
Yeah, most awkward was Praveen,
Yeah, exactly.
not us.
Yeah, actually,
Okay.
yeah, that's right. Because Urvashi held my hand and saying, "It's okay, it's fine." I mean, if you can
Yeah.
imagine the actors telling the director, "It's fine, let's do it." Right.
Yeah,
So it was
seriously.
good.
What made you pick the idea up? I'm Lata, if you could just tell us who that question is directed to. Is that directed at Praveen or
I
me
think
or
I
Akhil?
think it's me. I think it's
But
me.
I think we've discussed that, so we'll just take a different question. Um, Interesting. Is distribution as expensive as making a movie?
Um, mm, I mean, I wouldn't say expensive as making a movie, but it is expensive in terms of promoting it, in terms of getting it right to the. For example, I mean, it depends on what kind of distribution that you're planning to do, because if it's a theatrical release, then that is very expensive, because you need to get all those, your DCP files, you have to, get it right that way. So that is very expensive. But if it's a digital release, then it's not that much expensive. Uh, uh, so I would say, yeah, theatrical release and a digital release are two different things. So theatrical release is, yeah, expensive. Yes.
Okay. We're coming up on 1 hour in a little bit, so I'm just gonna go through some more questions and we'll keep the answers quick and short. Um, were there any ad-libs that came into the movie? Any funny stories? I don't think in the script there were any ad-libs because we had rehearsed it for so long and like we had like, made small tweaks to the dialogues and things like that. That's what I remember. Did we ad-lib anything? I don't think so.
Mm, yeah, I don't remember.
No, I think we were pretty well rehearsed. Funny stories? Yeah, lots of funny
Yeah.
stories. I mean,
Every day we would have a bunch of them.
every day some rubbish would happen. We like we were in a hotel that was pretty quiet. Okay, we were on this is my favorite. Pretty quiet. We were kind of had our rooms on one floor away from everybody else. But then a couple of days there were people on that floor, and the walls were very thin. So let's just say that they could hear a lot of what was happening in our shooting scenes, and we could hear a lot of what was happening in their rooms. And let me
Or
just say,
probably
some
they
of
were
it was
inspired by
hella
our,
awkward.
yeah,
Some of it
they
was
were in,
hella awkward.
Correct. Yeah. So what I was saying is they were inspired by our noise and they were making the noise themselves.
Just there was a lot of awkward eye contact that happened in those hallways, let's just say. And like it was so we were just, so my costume and Akhil's costume is like people who are, chilling. It's a very comfy casual costume. And it got to the point where like I personally didn't care and I was like running around the corridors like in my whatever pajamas and other people were like, what's happening? I think we raised a lot of questions, is all I'd like to say. But we had a good
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Okay. So where do we watch your movie? That is to be decided. We will obviously announce it when the plans are concrete. So we have answered that question effectively. Now, actually, these are good questions to end on. What's everybody working on? Praveen, what are you working on now? Akhil, what are you working on now? What's going on?
I shall go
Essentials,
first.
the release. No, like
Yeah?
as of now, I'm occupied with a couple of dubbing works, and then there are some pre-production works happening. A couple of works yet to start, so we are just figuring out the dates. Everything seems to be difficult, considering the Omicron factor. Within, yeah, touch wood. Hopefully, everything will be fine soon.
Praveen?
Yeah. So I want to, I mean, two things are happening parallelly, which is essentials to the right place. So that is one. The other thing is I've already started to work on another script, which is going on. So
Yeah.
Sir, give roll, sir. Sir, please give roll, sir. One roll, please, sir.
yeah, so that is what I'm doing, and plus my regular work that is going on. Yeah.
Nice.
Mhm.
Since
What about
I'm the
you?
only person left
What
here,
about you,
yes,
Vishnu?
thank you for asking. I was going to ask myself and then answer it. I am working in the theater. I'm working on a Hindi play and some other reruns of older shows that are happening. Well, was supposed to happen. Conditions apply. Depends on Omicron and what the situation is. So a lot of things are on hold right now. But hopefully, if things open up, then shows will happen. If you're in Bangalore, please come watch. It'll be my first Hindi play on a stage ever. So
Wow,
I'm very
all
excited
the
for that.
best.
Thank you. I'll need it. But yes, I think we're coming up close to an hour and we've covered a lot of ground. So thank you both for joining. Now the main thing is to everybody who's watching, who will watch this when it's available on my IGTV. What's crucial for us now is to get views on that trailer because that's going to really help us pitch the film, get it out somewhere that has a lot of reach, not just to make the money back, but also just to spread this idea and to showcase our work. So if you could please go watch the trailer, share it with your friends, share it to your stories, keep it on loop in the background, whatever we need to do. That would be super duper appreciated. If you could leave a comment, increase the engagement on it. That'll really, really help us. I know the biggest question has been where can we watch it, when can we see it? That will be decided on, decided partially based on those views. So please take a look at the trailer. It's available in my bio, in Praveen's bio, in Akhil's bio. It's everywhere. You can see it on YouTube and share it. So thank you, friends. And
Thank
hopefully
you.
we'll
Thanks,
be back
everyone.
next time with a big announcement, hopefully. So let's keep our
Yes,
fingers
we
crossed
will.
for that.
Thank you,
Thank you
everyone.
guys. Good night to everybody else.
Good
This will be
night.
available on my IGTV after this. Take care and good night.
Good night.
Bye
Bye.
bye. Thanks.